Hello, Dina here, littlewidow.com, Littlest Widow on Instagram, the Little Widow on Twitter, not that we use Twitter. It's been a while. Hi, how is everyone? Sorry, holidays get me down. Merry Christmas, it's Christmas Eve. This is the first Christmas Eve, I believe, of my life where I have not participated in some sort of Seven Fishes gathering. I'm Italian, I don't look it, but I am, and I usually am the hostess. Not necessarily with the mostess, but usually the hostess. I did work one year, and I worked in an Italian restaurant, and I worked a Seven Fishes dinner, but otherwise, I have either been at my grandmother's for Seven Fishes or hosting myself my entire life. This is my first year not really doing anything. Very strange. So we're doing a reading tonight. Again, sorry it took me a minute to get back in the swing. Holidays are tough, you know? They're tough. Put a lot of expectation on them. Everything's in our face all the time. What we have, what we don't have, we wanted. Expectation meets reality. They don't mesh. It's a tough time. So I'm okay, and I'm back, and we're gonna do a nice reading tonight for someone who I do not know at all. I don't even know his name. Hit me up through the Instagram page, which you can do too if you want. You can, I just assume, you could also just use the email on the website, but either way. And just wants to know an overview of 2019, which I think is a really nice question. I think that's a fine thing to ask. So I as I always do, I did look at his astrological chart. It looks really positive. So again, I don't know this person at all, and there was no background question to this. So I don't know what you're looking for, or what your situation is. But from how your chart looks, it looks like you could be right at the beginning of a significant relationship of some sort. If you haven't met someone really recently, I would be surprised if you don't soon. The reason I'm saying this is your fifth house and your seventh house are very active right now from a couple different things. So Jupiter is like you were born with a certain, like a kind of pivotal Jupiter-Uranus conjunction already, and it's crossing over that, and it's right near your seventh house cusp. It's gonna oppose your moon. All of that should be nice. It should be very nice. And based on where they're placed in your chart, it looks like maybe, it looks to me like you could experience some kind of work-related things too. I think that work could definitely benefit from what's happening. I definitely see, it just looks like a really positive time. So I wouldn't be surprised if you started some kind of significant relationship based on how your chart looks. I also wouldn't be surprised if, work started going, if it's not already going well, that starts an upswing too, just based on your chart. The houses that are really in play are the 6th, the 10th, and the 7th. And there's some 12th house stuff too. That could be inner growth, spirituality. It's hard to find the career path we want, as well as the partner that we want or need, if we're not who we need to be. So the inner work is important too, obviously. So in any case, everything looks very positive astrologically. And it does look like a time of change. So positive change, but change. So right now, we are asking for this gentleman whose birth date I'm thinking of in my head right now, whose name I do not know. We want to know what the next year has in store for him overall. We're looking at a general theme of the year. So lots of other little tidbits could certainly happen during that time, but overall, what can we expect for him for 2019? It is a bit of a long time range to ask the cards about, and a lot can change in that time frame. I think our immediate future, we're gonna be set. That's gonna be right. But you know, if you just go bananas and say, screw it all, a couple months in, I mean, unless the cards show specifically that, you know, think you can, it might be, it's changeable. Short time frames are more specific and less subject to change. If you have any questions about that, you can watch my talk on fate versus free will. Depends on what we end up with though. Some things you can't change. I'm using that Santa Muerte tarot today. I will pick up the deck or the box and show it to you the second I feel these puppies are ready. I did smudge them already. Saved you the trouble of watching me smudge. Gotta get it just right. I'm rusty. It's been over a week. Overall, for this nice gentleman. Sorry. Oh, we're only card by card here. Maybe it's me. Nope. Here we are. I feel good about that. It's this deck. You've seen me use it once or twice before. Look at the Dead Tarot. It was my vibe to use this tonight. I didn't have him pick, but all right, let's do this. So we're starting out with a Four of Wands. These cards look totally different than the Rider-Waite and most other cards. Right, in the environment of the Star, lovely card to be working in. That's an environment of hope. And you know, just fresh starts, kind of optimism. What's crossing is the Nine of Swords. What's crossing is the Six of Swords. They write their numbers funny. I was gonna say that looks like the boatman from the Six. So maybe some time off or some health issues perhaps were popping up. I don't know. Nothing majorly is crossing us though. We're all right. Five of Wands, maybe there was some kind of recent struggle of some sort. I don't know. And behind us is the King of Pentacles. Okay, above us, the Ace of Wands. Before us is the Page of Cups. That would be a card, yeah, all right, we'll do it all. Four of Swords, another card of rest like the Six of Swords. I'm wondering if you were sick or if you took some time off for some reason. Two of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the outcome is the Three of Pentacles. This is the work card. All right, so interesting. Nothing crazy here. This entire reading, with the exception of the Star, which is representative of the environment that we're in currently, and kind of like, when you read the environment, it could be your attitude, it could be people around you, you know, if you have a support structure, if you have someone else in your life, or it could be as simplistic as saying like, this is where my headspace is when I'm asking this question, and you know, speaking for you. That's the only major arcana card in this entire reading. So that's interesting. That's worth noting. Usually you see one of those cards like the Magician or the Hierophant or somebody else somewhere in here. We have none of those. So to me that says that things are a little malleable, because when you have the major arcana cards, they're less subject to change. They're major, really. They're like this giant archetype that's putting its energy over the whole reading. We don't have that. All we have is that you're super hopeful right now, or you're in an environment that is fostering you to be super hopeful or optimistic for some reason. That's the only major arcana card in this whole reading. So things are a little flexible right now. It looks to me, the cards representing you are both fours. As we talk about a lot here, fours can be stagnation a little bit. However, the Four of Wands and the Four of Swords have more positive connotations than the 2 4s that we seem to pull all the time in our readings on this website, we tend to get a lot of 4 of Pentacles and 4 of Cups. Those are the really sticky, stagnant ones. These 2 4s are actually happier 4s. They tend to be like a rest from struggle, these 4s. So I almost feel like, based on what I'm seeing here, that you kind of maybe were in some kind of tough situation recently, be it health-wise, or maybe you had an issue with the fact that the King of Pentacles is in your past position. Maybe you had some kind of father issue or issue with a strong male in some sort. Maybe you even had an issue being a father yourself. I don't know. But I feel like, you know, there could have been a health issue, there could have been a mental issue, whatever it was. Right now, you seem to be at a place of equilibrium and calm, and you're taking a little rest and moving away from whatever that problem was. It looks like you're going to be healing, to me. I think there was some kind of struggle or difficulty, and you're moving away from it and you're healing. That's what this looks like to me. In our near future position, we have the Page of Cups. Again, it looks a little different in this card. This is a really positive, this is a very positive card, the Page of Cups. Pages are similar to aces in the sense that they represent this really new energy that's coming into your life, this really new thing. They're kind of what bridges, it's hard to describe it really, but they're what bridges the numerical cards to the court cards and to the rest of the deck. They can be messengers, they can be children. But they can also signify really just the birth of an idea or a new period in life or a time where we look at things with the eyes of children, or we have that fresh expression of something. So the Page of Cups, cups are emotion, cups are love. Cups are feeling again, maybe after a long time of not feeling. It could also be a child. I would never say that it couldn't be. I mean, if you get a lot of pages in a reading, like I frequently would be like, is there a baby on the way? You know, that's always a possibility as well. But to me, I mean, it looks like you will either, between this and how your chart looks, I'm inclined to say that if you have not just met someone that is going to be pivotal for you romantically, that you will, or there might be, you know, some kind of child that you love very much coming into the picture. And if not that, some kind of, I mean, it potentially could be some kind of artistic endeavor. All of the same things that look like love in astrology and in tarot cards also look a lot like art. So in any case, very positive looking. So we move up through this point where we're healing. Maybe there's a little bit of change. And our outcome card is the 3 of Pentacles. This is a work card. And this deck, this is actually a really pretty representation of this card. He's planted seeds and they're growing now, and he's diligently watering them. That is the 3 of Pentacles. So it's a really good representation of the card. So the traditional card, it has like a craftsman, and he's working on the plans of this beautiful cathedral, and he's diligently working on that too. That is a card of work. When I see that, I definitely think it's not wasted work, it's not fruitless work, it's pointed, this is what I'm doing work. It's not showing a hell of a lot of inspiration necessarily. It's not showing a lot of movement. It tends to be nose to the grindstone work. So depending on where you are in your life, that could be work to make some artistic endeavor or business work. That could be work to make a relationship that starts work. That it could really be, you know, putting the groundwork in on some kind of established life. It just really all depends on where you are. In any case, it looks very positive. It looks healing, and it doesn't look like any upheavals. To me, it looks like you're entering a very positive, productive time in your life. Productive being the operative word. So If you don't want a baby, be careful. I'm just gonna say that. And then beyond that, I do think that the potential exists from what I'm seeing here and in your chart for a real pivotal relationship to start. If not, and also it looks really positive for career stuff too, if you are in an artistic field in particular. So nothing earth-shattering, nothing mind-blowing. It's not gonna be one of those years that you're gonna look back on based on this and be like, holy shit, my whole life blew up. But it does look like a pleasant, solid time where you make positive changes and you heal maybe from some past stuff and move forward in a really good way, where I think you would look back on this year and say, that was the year I set up this great, all of this structure, that's beneath where I am now. I think this is the year where you do that. So everything looks really good, really positive, and I hope that was helpful. All right, so if you have a question for me, you can email me or hit me up on Instagram, and I will do your reading. Merry Christmas. Good night.